All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Saira Mujtaba. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says government is taking several steps to strengthen defence sector. A high-level election commission team to visit Mizoram tomorrow to end standoff following protests against Chief Electoral Officer. Reserve Bank liberalizes norms governing external commercial borrowing for infrastructure creation. In Sri Lanka, 3 new ministers sworn in. And in badminton, Kidambi Srikanth and pair of Chirag Shetty and Satvik Sairaj Rankireddy enter pre-quarter-finals of China Open. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says numerous steps are being taken by the government to strengthen the defence sector. He said India is making great strides in the sector. Mr. Modi was speaking after celebrating Diwali with Army and ITBP jawans at Harshil, which is one of the remotest border posts in Uttarakhand, yesterday. He also spoke of various measures being taken for the welfare of ex-servicemen, including OROP, one rank, one pension. The Prime Minister commended the jawans for ensuring the nation's security and spreading a sense of fearlessness among the people. Greeting the jawans on the occasion, Mr. Modi said their devotion to duty in remote icy heights is enabling the strength of the nation and securing the future and dreams of 125 crore Indians. Mr. Modi highlighted how the Indian forces are admired globally for their skills. He said the forces draw admiration and appreciation across the world in UN peacekeeping operations. Defence Minister Nirmala Sitharaman yesterday cautioned jawans not to believe what appears on social media. She was interacting with the troops along the line of actual control at Hayuliang in Arunachal Pradesh during a Diwali celebration. She advised them to stay away from negative news about forces appearing on Facebook and Twitter. Ms. Sitharaman also reiterated government's commitment to give the latest weapons such as AK-47 to all jawans manning border posts. The air pollution level in the national capital has once again deteriorated to very poor category. According to Central Pollution Control Board, air quality index was recorded at 325 this morning. The air pollution was in poor category yesterday. Our correspondent reports that Delhiites woke up to a morning filled with smog today post-Diwali celebrations.
A thick haze engulfed the national capital this morning. Online indicators of the pollution monitoring station in the city glowed red, indicating a very poor air quality. The Supreme Court had set a 2-hour window from 8 to 10 p.m. to burn green crackers. The residents across the national capital felt the beginning was promising, with the neighborhoods reporting much less noise and smoke till 8 p.m. But as the festivities picked up, the echo of crackers started glowing louder. All construction activities involving excavation have been stopped in the national capital till Saturday. With Dipendra Kumar, Gulshan Rawat, AIR News, Delhi.
Election Commission will send a high-level team to Mizoram tomorrow to hold further discussions with the state government officials and leaders of the NGO Coordination Committee on the current standoff in the state. The team will be headed by Deputy Chief Election Commissioner Sudeep Jain. For the last 2 days, the NGO Coordination Committee, led by YMA, was protesting against the removal of the Principal Secretary Home, Lalnun Mavea Chwango, and demanding removal of Chief Electoral Officer S.B. Shashank. Sources said the committee called off the protest last evening for the time being. In a statement, the Commission said it has accepted the broad contours of the resolution passed by the committee after deliberations with the delegation of the poll body. The Commission also expressed its serious concerns on the violence in Kola Sib district during protests against the CEO. Talking to AIR News, Chief Election Commissioner O.P. Rawat said,
इस टीम में डिप्टी इलेक्शन कमिश्नर सुदीप जैन होंगे, एक एडिशनल सीईओ जो वहाँ पे मिजोरम में ही है वो होंगी, और जो हमारे सीईओ झारखंड ऑलरेडी वहाँ सियांग पे गए हुए थे वो भी होंगे। तीनों लोग वहाँ पे एनजीओ कोऑर्डिनेशन कमेटी से डिस्कशन करेंगे ताकि उनकी जो भी भ्रांतियां हों वो और दूर हो जाएं, और जैसे मिजोरम में हमेशा की तरह बिल्कुल पीसफुल इलेक्शन होते रहे, उसी तरह के इलेक्शन इस बार भी हो पाए।
In Chhattisgarh, candidates for assembly elections in Maoist-affected areas of the state are adopting innovative methods of campaigning for the forthcoming elections. 18 constituencies in the state will go to polls on the 12th of this month in the first phase. More from our correspondent.
There are virtually no traditional election meetings as contestants of all parties try to meet the voters at weekly markets and community gatherings without venturing deep into the remote forest villages of Bastar region of Chhattisgarh. Amid Maoist call for boycott of elections, parties are concentrating more on one-to-one meetings instead of organizing large meetings. As far as issues are concerned, BJP has been raising development as their main poll plank, pointing out the infrastructural development carried out in Bastar during the last 15 years. Opposition Congress and other parties are mainly focusing on the tribals' right on Jal, Jangal and Jameen besides problem of unemployment. Vikalp Shukla, AIR News, Raipur.
Election Commission has asked the Odisha government to seal its border with the poll-bound Chhattisgarh in order to ensure a free and fair election. Assembly elections in Chhattisgarh will be held in 2 phases on November 12 and 20. Odisha government has also asked authorities of 8 districts to go for frisking in border areas and keep an eye on the movement of Maoists and people carrying liquor, cash and other materials. These 8 districts are Sundargarh, Jharsuguda, Bargarh, Nopada, Nabrangpur, Malkangiri, Kalahandi and Koraput. In Madhya Pradesh, filing of nominations for assembly elections will end tomorrow. A total of 593 nominations have been filed so far for the November 28 elections. While BJP has announced 192 candidates so far, Congress has declared 211 candidates for 230-member assembly. More from our correspondent.
Deliberations are still on in both the parties in some high-profile seats, and they may announce some more names today. The Congress released the 4th list of 29 candidates on Wednesday night. There are 27 new names in it, whereas 2 candidates have been changed. The most prominent name in the list is name of Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan's brother-in-law Sanjay Singh, who has recently joined Congress. He has been given ticket from Parasivni. The party has so far announced 211 names. At present, name of 19 candidates are yet to be declared. The Congress had declared 155 names in the first list, 16 in the second list and 13 candidates in the third list. As of now, the BJP has announced 192 candidates. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. You can also log on to our website, newsonair.nic.in. Reserve Bank has liberalized the norms governing external commercial borrowings or ECBs for infrastructure creation. A notification said the minimum average maturity requirement for the ECBs in the infrastructure space raised by eligible borrowers has been reduced to 3 years from earlier 5 years. Additionally, the average maturity requirement for mandatory hedging has been reduced to 5 years from earlier 10 years. The move comes amid concerns surrounding the availability of funds following a liquidity squeeze and the difficulties being faced by non-bank lenders, especially those facing asset liability issues due to heavy reliance on short-term funding for long-term assets. Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana has been formulated with the vision of extending the coverage of irrigation and improving water use efficiency. Here is a ground report from our Panji correspondent.
In Goa, the Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana has helped farmers and farm laborers in the hinterland in sourcing irrigation facilities. A resident of Dabhal village of Darvandora Taluka, Ramakant Tilugaonkar, speaks about how subsidies under the scheme have helped him run a profitable business.
Our main business was mining business. It was closed down in the year 2012. Then we went back to our traditional business, that is agriculture. In the year 2013, we started cultivation in around 10,000 acres of land. We cultivated areca nut trees, papaya trees and banana trees. We started getting income and profit from this cultivation. We got our irrigation project done through loans and subsidies received from Government of India's Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. We received around 6 to 6.5 lakh rupees subsidies. We constructed open well, for which we received a subsidy of rupees 2 lakhs.
The benefits available under the Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana have also encouraged many people in Goa to take up farming activities for livelihood. Saikal Sarkar from Goa for AIR.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has greeted the people on the occasion of Gujarati New Year today. In a tweet, Mr. Modi hoped that the coming year lead to the fulfillment of all their aspirations. In Sri Lanka, 3 new ministers were sworn in last evening amidst doubts over the stability of the new government. Brother of new Prime Minister and former Speaker Chamal Rajpaksa was among those sworn in by President Maithripala Sirisena. Meanwhile, Parliament Speaker Karu Jayasuriya said an opportunity must be provided for majority opinion on a stable government when Parliament meets next Wednesday. More from our correspondent.
The new ministers were sworn in amidst rumours that President may dissolve the House and call early elections. However, it was denied by government in a late-night press release. A government minister has said the first day of Parliament session on 14th will only have President's address, while a date to prove majority will be decided later. This is contrary to Speaker's view, who wants majority to be tested on first day itself. Meanwhile, USA has urged President to convene Parliament immediately to resolve the political crisis. It said further delay compounds uncertainty in Sri Lanka and undermines its international reputation. Santosh Kumar for AIR News from Colombo.
In badminton, ace Indian shuttler Kidambi Shrikant and pair of Chirag Shetty and Satvik Sairaj Rankireddy entered pre-quarter-finals of China Open at Fuzhou yesterday. In the men's singles opening round, 5th-seeded Shrikant defeated Frenchman Luca Corvée. HS Prannoy, however, bowed out. In women's singles, Vaishnavi Reddy Jaka made a first-round exit after losing to Thai Pompavi Chochuang. Rio Olympic silver medalist and third seed PV Sindhu has already booked a place in the pre-quarter-finals, while Saina Nehwal is not taking part in the tournament. In men's doubles, Chirag and Satvik Sairaj made it to the round of 16 with a stunning win over the 7th-seeded Danish team of Mats Pieler Kolting and Mats Conrad Peterson. And now, for an overview of today's newspapers, it's over to Abhishek Kumar.
Thank you, Saira. On account of Diwali, very few newspapers have published their electronic versions, while most issues weren't published today. Here's a review of a couple of e-papers. Keeping with his tradition of celebrating Diwali with men in uniform, Prime Minister Narendra Modi grabs headlines. The Statesman writes, PM celebrates Diwali with Jawans. The crucial US midterm elections have intensified the political bitterness and fighting between the two major parties in the run-up to the 2020 presidential poll. Democrats capture the House of Representatives, while President Donald Trump's Republican Party retains its majority in the Senate. The Statesman headlines, Democrats capture House and US midterms. The Hindustan Times reports, America divided. Democrats take House, GOP wins Senate. Adding, Trump calls it big day for Republicans, Democrat Pelosi may be next House Speaker. The Times of India writes, Trumped. One-party rule ends in US as Democrats recapture House. The Statesman carries a story that despite the apex court giving a deadline to burst firecrackers, Delhiites were openly flouting the orders. The paper says, Delhiites burst crackers beyond Supreme Court deadline. Mumbaikars too didn't pay heed to the court's order. The Times of India says, 2-hour window for bursting crackers goes up in smoke. The paper also carries a picture of people reveling at Marine Drive after 10 p.m. bursting crackers. And finally, in some heartening news, the Times of India writes that India not only has the highest percentage of women airline pilots in the world, but the percentage of women pilots in India is more than double the global average, according to latest data released by International Society of Women Airline Pilots. The paper says they see women pilot percentage twice that of world. And with that, it's back to you, Saira.
Thank you, Abhishek. And in some more news, in Cameroon, 79 school students abducted by gunmen this week in a troubled English-speaking region have been freed. The kidnappings on Monday were the first such mass abduction seen in Cameroon. Communications Minister Issa Bakary Chiroma disclosed this without giving details of the circumstances under which they were set free. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says government is taking several steps to strengthen defence sector. A high-level election commission team to visit Mizoram tomorrow to end standoff following protests against Chief Electoral Officer. Reserve Bank of India liberalizes norms governing external commercial borrowings for infrastructure creation. In Sri Lanka, 3 new ministers sworn in. And in the world of sports, in badminton, Kidambi Shrikant and pair of Chirag Shetty and Satvik Sairaj Rankireddy enter pre-quarter-finals of China Open. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.nic.in. With that, we end the morning news. Have a great day.